In this scenario, the designs are placed closer together than they were in the first example, so that some of the designs will be included within the same hoop. There are no critical areas to match because the designs won't be split into pieces, but you will want the designs to be spaced evenly. Go to the multi-hooping toolbox. I have already placed 3 hoops to encompass the design. Go to multi-hooping options and make sure Add Registration Marks on Output is checked and the margins are set to medium. Click OK. In this case, registration marks are going to be used instead of the design center to make sure that these designs are spaced evenly and accurately. If you click on the preview hoopings, you'll see that the first hoop has 4 registration marks. Each subsequent hoop only has 2 registration marks. The green registration marks will be used to align with the red registration marks of the first design. Go to Print Preview to print a full template. Click on Options and make sure that you have the work area check and the start and end crosshairs. Also, place a check mark by hoop template and click OK. The guidelines that you see on each edge of the template help you accurately tape the pieces together. These are shown on each page. The red lines that you see are the center of the entire design. Print out the template and tape the pages together. Let's look how this design will be stitched. You're looking at the template of the circular work area. The green circle represents the edge of the fabric. The red cross mark that you see is the center of the design. You'll also want to mark the center of this first design. Use the hoop template to mark this center. From the center mark for your design center, extend the grain lines to the fabric edges. Also mark the center of your first design. There's no need to mark any other centers because you will use registration marks to align the design. Hoop your fabric so the first design will fit within the hoop and the registration marks are also within the hoop. You will align the first design by aligning the needle position at the center of your hoop. This will align with the marked center of the first design and not the marked center of the entire design. Activate the center of the hoop in your machine. Use Move Motif if you need to move the needle position so it aligns with the center of your first design. Stitch the first file. You'll see the registration marks that I've stitched in the file. Remove the fabric from the hoop after the first file stitches and the registration marks will be stitched for the first file and they are used for alignment. You will want to make sure that the registration marks are within the hoop. Rehoop the fabric and then use absolute check to align the registration marks. You'll want to make sure that the needle penetrates at the same point that is touched on the screen with absolute check. Once these marks are aligned, you can align the second registration mark and again make sure the needle penetrates at the same point that you touched on the design screen. Use Move Motif if necessary to align the needle. The registration marks of the second file do not have to be stitched. They are only used for alignment. Repeat the process for the third hooping. Again, using the registration marks and absolute check to align the needle penetration with the registration mark that has been stitched on the fabric. You can also digitize your own reference marks when you want control of where the reference marks are placed within the hoop, as well as the type of reference marks you use. You want to be sure to increase the stitch length to make the marks easier to remove. Remember to deactivate registration marks in Options if you decide to digitize your own.